Chapter 3. The Number Above My Head. My name is Cale Rourke and I am 28 years old. I thought I had seen every age a human can be. Until now. We hit the ground hard. The surface was not asphalt. It was white cobblestone polished smooth by ages of use. I pushed myself up and the air burned my lungs. It was cold and thin and it tasted like metal. The sky was Edmonton's sky, but it was wrong. There were two moons. One was ours, familiar and pocketed. The other was a thin ring of bone hanging in the sky like a halo that had been discarded. "Welcome to the Undercity," Silas said. He was on his knees and blood was running from his nose. It was red. Human red. For a 4,000-year-old man, he bled like the rest of us. This is where the numbers come from. This is the second layer, the world beneath the world. People were moving on the street around us. They looked human, but not all of them had numbers. Some had letters in languages I didn't recognize. Some had symbols that shifted when I tried to focus on them, and looking at them too long made my temples throb. Some had nothing at all. There was just a blank gnawed space above their heads, and those people walked in slow circles, touching their own faces like they were trying to remember who they were. "The Taken," Silas said, and he dragged me into a stone doorway. The hollow ate their time. It ate their years, their memories, and it ate their names. Now they're just echoes. I finally looked at my reflection in a pane of black glass set into the door. For the first time in my life, I had a something above my own head. It wasn't 28. It was a question mark. The question mark pulsed once, like a heartbeat. Every number above every person on the street went out. The letters and symbols vanished. The whole Undercity went dark for a second, and in that second I felt the hollow look at me. It didn't have eyes, it had attention, and that attention was a physical weight. When the numbers came back, Silas was aging. 4,027 became 4,028, then 4,029, a year per second. His hair went from black to gray to white. Lines carved themselves into his face. His hands, which had been strong when he grabbed me, were suddenly thin and spotted. "It's here," he whispered. "It's trying to solve you, the question mark. It doesn't like questions it can't answer." He shoved something into my hand. It was a knife. The blade was made of rusted metal and there were words carved into it, but they weren't in any alphabet I knew. Holding it made my teeth itch. "Hollows can't stand a paradox," Silas said. His voice was old now, frail. 4,101, 4,159. Ask it something it can't answer. Ask it something that makes it flinch. That's the only weapon that works. "How do you know?" I asked. My voice was shaking. Silas looked at me, and despite the fact that his face was now ancient, his eyes were still that same sword metal gray. "Because I was the last seer who tried," he said, "and I'm out of time." 4,220, 4,301. He was dying in front of me, aging hundreds of years in a minute because he had brought me here. The question mark above my head cracked down the middle. From the end of the street, the mouth from the alley was pulling itself into existence. It didn't walk. It just became more real with every second. The cobblestones around it turned to dust. The two moons in the sky dimmed. The hollow was here. It was using my voice to laugh. The knife in my hand was getting hot. Silas collapsed, his body now ancient and frail. 4,412. He grabbed the front of my shirt with a hand that was all bone and tendon. "Don't run," he rasped. "Hunt." Then the question mark above me split open. I looked at the hollow, at the impossible depth of it, and I asked the only question I could think of. "If you eat time," I said, "what happens when you eat yourself?" The hollow stopped laughing. The entire Undercity went silent, and the question mark above my head started to burn. If you're interested in a Chapter 4, then follow the page, like this video, and comment Chapter 4.